Hey everybody, it's Business. Welcome back. Got the Fletcher, the first match I played in this. So basically if I'm showing this to you, it's probably a pretty decent match, and it does turn out to be that way. I can say that right off the bat, this is easily the best USN destroyer that I've played. I do not remember it being this good back in closed beta, and this is actually this is patch 5.4. So the sounds are a bit different. They did change that in patch 5.5. The turret destruction mechanic certainly helps this in a lot of respects, and basically any destroyer, any cruiser should be able to have some more fighting ability throughout the match. Now, the one big thing that this does, and I will have the Benson review, I'm going to have to delay that for a few extra days. I'll have it up hopefully about the start of next week, but the Benson has some shortcomings, and this basically alleviates all of them. And the one area that it has a bit of an issue with is the fact that it tends to drift a bit. So when you're in some situations that you should be able to get yourself out of, in like if you were in a Benson or like a Mahan or a Farragut, whatever the hell, it seems like you don't really get that chance in this ship. So you tend to have, like, if you're dodging torpedoes, you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to get out of that. So this match is obviously on Land of Fire. We got a New Orleans over there that I launched a torp spread at, both of them actually, and the Fubuki clearly launched one of his torps over towards me, so I damn near ate those. I'm trying to cap here and secure this area for my team so they can start pushing up, and I'm trying to keep the enemy away with these torps. Now the big thing is that these torps have a 10.5 kilometer range. They have, I think it's like an 18 or 19,000 max damage, and they have a 90.1 second reload. Wait, what was that? Oh, that was the Fubuki that I just killed. So that felt really good. And you aim for one, and they still have some range to hopefully catch somebody else off guard in these types of situations where you have a large amount of a team in the general area. That's where torpedoes really do the work. But like I said, though, I was trying to keep them pushed away from this area so my team could start to move up a little bit, and I'm trying to obviously cap as well. But there's an Izumo here just sitting bow forward, and he's going to go ahead and take a shitload of hits here. Now most of these are not going to do damage, and what I really should have done was switched over to AP, and you can't really see this in replays anymore, but it's not exactly where I'm aiming is not exactly where you see. So I am trying to hit the superstructure. I'm trying to hit further back onto the stern of the ship, and yeah, a lot of these are just going to end up not doing any damage anyways. So, but anyways, as far as the upgrades are concerned, there's, I think it's the third slot. You get the torpedo, improved torpedo reload, and that's what I run on this. So that's why it has a 90.1 second reload. That's 32 seconds faster than the Benson. Think about that for a minute. Over the course of a match, you're going to throw down a lot more torps than the Benson will, and I can tell you that adds up really fast. Now, Kami is in his Fletcher, and he's right behind me here. Those are his torpedoes. He told me not to back up, so that's why I'm not unzooming and taking a look to see where those are, so I trust him, I think. But as you can tell, I'm way too close to this guy to be able to spread these shells around his ship and try to start fires, and let alone even get damage. The main thing is that I'm providing a serious annoyance factor to this guy, and he's got to be distracted as hell as he's trying to find targets and stuff like that. A Admiral Hipper and an Amagi start to move over to the other side, and unfortunately I'm detected, and I get the attention of both of these guys. So AP salvo coming in from the Hipper, and I'm being an idiot, and I'm not really moving, focused way too much on trying to get some offensive damage done here, and luckily nothing major happens there as far as the damage is concerned. But these ships are rather large at this tier, so bear that in mind. AP is very effective against them, especially when they're turned. What was it? It was actually a hipper the other day. Hit me when I had just turned away, and only 2 shells hit, and it did, I think it was 5,900 damage or something like that. I mean, it was ridiculous, and I was not prepared to take that type of damage. So that kind of adjusted how I played for the rest of the match. And I do plan on getting Survivability Expert for this, and then, of course, Concealment Expert. The thing is, what you're watching here is a fresh captain. It's a 3-point captain, actually, so I just had Last Stand as well as Situational Awareness active. That's it. So I do have dedicated captains for the overwhelming majority of my 60+ ships, and that is why it's also very difficult for me to want to take some of these ships into like ranked and things like that, because I'm going to be at a supreme disadvantage as far as like say the Benson versus a Fubuki. They'll be able to keep me spotted and continue to maneuver away. I mean, same with an enemy Benson, you know, so that's something to bear in mind. But I am pestering the hell out of that Amagi, and you'll notice that I'm not getting spotted at all here. I mean, obviously there's an island here, but I'm invisifiring, and this kind of goes to show how powerful it actually is. I mean, whether or not this guy is shooting at me or somebody else, I am pushing him away because he knows that there's a destroyer over here, and he knows he's got to stay, you know, some given distance away from me. So if there's anything I could say about battleships going up against high-tier cruisers or destroyers, is that there's such a liability in these types of situations where he doesn't have help, so he can't do anything against me. It's basically my fight to lose, and that's really saying a lot when you're thinking about battleships and their overall power, their capability. I mean, it's a bit disconcerting. So I'm not sure if there's some plans in the future to adjust that, but I'll say that I enjoy the playstyle of destroyers at high tier more than cruiser or battleship by a massive margin. So anyways, we have a lot of ships over here at B, or like in the general vicinity. Kami went ahead and popped smoke there, so I'm going to jump in that. I still have my smoke active. Enemy Atago off to, well, just ahead of me. He took out one of my B turret there, as you can see. And now it's time to make sure that we secure this cap, and make sure that the Amagi can't cap it, the Atago coming in just a second can't cap it, and I'm just going to start racking up these flag defense points and whatnot, you know, and just keeping these guys moving, because at this point my only concern is keeping them out of that cap and keeping those turrets moving, because if you play Battleship and you have torp wall after torp wall coming in after you, and you have to constantly turn, you know how hard it is to keep your guns on target and make them matter in a match that's like that. So the more those turrets on their battleships are moving, the more they have to move themselves, the more coordinated they have to be just to get any type of damage out. So basically, by doing this, you defang the enemy battleships. So there's a lot of utility, obviously, in something like that, especially when you have cruisers backing you up from afar, and, you know, nailing these guys and setting them on fire and constantly making them use their repair, their heals and things like that. So a hipper, actually the hipper, tries to come in, and I'm not entirely sure what he was thinking here, but he gets taken out pretty quickly, and the Amagis are trying to regroup over here. The New Orleans is coming up, I think, just a little bit behind them, and I finally managed to take out the Amagi there. So I'm not entirely sure if that was from flooding or what, but he managed to die, so that's good. Lobbing the shots over the island there, and as you can see, I was constantly switching targets to just try to start fires and everything else. The Atago did end up beaching himself here, and then I couldn't really hit this guy for shit. I honestly had some issues trying to hit him, and then we switched over to the New Orleans here because we were trying to get that lead back, and we have about 150 point lead at this point, but it's trying to make sure that we don't leave anything on the table. We secure the points while we can. And you can see, I think Kami actually bounced like 4 or 5 shells on this guy with HE. He just, we couldn't kill this dude at all, and there, he finally dies. So props to that New Orleans. That was actually pretty damn well played. So I had been sitting here for a while. I basically got a double smoke. You know, that doesn't happen too often, but there's certainly advantages of being in a division and having some communication there. So knowing that he had just popped a smoke and I could comfortably sit there. I did really expect torps from that Atago, but they never came, so I'm not sure if he had those knocked out or what, but that was something that really helped me quite a bit, because if those torps had come in while I was in the smoke, I certainly would have been most likely screwed. But yeah, so a few more cap resets there and trying to get some more here. Pop smoke again, and at this point it's just trying to make sure that we finish this off and control this guy with the torpedoes and with the fires and stuff. And you can see he's burning still. He's trying, like, these guys, I gotta give them props. They really were trying to get involved and, like, you know, do what they could do as far as getting into the caps. But the fact of the matter is, against Invisifire Fletchers, in this situation where they don't have any destroyers, I mean, there's so little that they can do. So while this isn't necessarily as riveting as the Benny the Benson or Yuta Mayhem video introductions for their respective ships, I can feel pretty proud about the technical aspect of it as far as area denial and Invisifire and, you know, using our communication skills to be able to work on the same targets and so on, and prioritize more efficiently. So, you know, I'm pretty damn happy with this, especially for being just a 3-point captain, and, you know, the first match in the ship since June? Yeah, June. So that was the last time I played the Fletcher, back in the end days of closed beta. So it's pretty damn interesting. I can thoroughly say, though, as much as I like the Farragut, the Mayhem, the Benson, this ship is awesome, and I wouldn't be terribly surprised if there was some changes coming up to this, and you'll see more about this ship, obviously, as time goes on when I get to the review. But yeah, it's a monster, I'll say that much. So this guy is he's dying a long, slow, painful death, and he'll be put out of his misery here in a second. So again, just wanted to say the giveaways that are going to happen today with the fully loaded Texas will be for the support for the YouTube channel, and to a lesser extent the stream as well. The stream is its own thing, of course. The YouTube channel is really my primary focus, but I like the stream, assuming that my connection behaves, which since last week, mid-last week, it hasn't, and supposedly they're improving it, and that's why it's being a total piece of shit right now. So I'm hoping that the stream goes well tomorrow in terms of just the connection. I don't care about the gameplay at this point. I just want to make sure that I can actually do the stream. So if I can't, I'll have to figure something else out, but either way, just wanted to say thank you again for your support and crossing the 4,000 subscriber mark. I really appreciate it, you guys, and hopefully we can keep these going, and I've got so many more videos for you coming up. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you out there today in the stream, and take care.